Blake, coge un hombre y trae tus cosas.
Esperaba que hoy fuera un buen día. La esperanza es algo peligroso.
You understand that it's important that these stories are passed on from generation to generation, and I was passed these stories about the First World War by my own grandfather, and it's very meaningful to me to pay him homage, but at the same time, the story he told me just wouldn't let me go. It didn't seem to be, I wasn't doing it just for my grandfather. Something about it seemed to be nagging at me, and it was just one story of him carrying a message through no man's land. And I thought, what a wonderful idea to do it in real time. But then I had to find a much bigger journey. So then I began to invent and create a different scenario, expand and develop on the ideas that were just in that very small story that he told me.
¿Tiene un hermano en el segundo batallón?
Sí, señor.
Van directos a una trampa. Sus órdenes son entregar un mensaje para suspender el ataque de mañana. Si fracasan, será una masacre.
Hablemos de esto un momento. ¿Por qué? Tenemos órdenes de cruzarla.
Es la línea del frente alemán.
¡Preparaos!
Si no somos listos, nadie llegará hasta tu hermano.
Yo sí.
As I say, I want you to feel every second passing with the characters, and I felt like I wanted the audience to not be able to escape. You know, sometimes that's claustrophobic, and other times it's exciting. But always you are in the present tense. You never see further than the character sees, and you're never allowed to play God. You know, you always have the camera's almost always at eye level. You want that feeling of being terrified at what's around the next corner, but you know you have to go around the next corner anyway, and that tension is what exists in the movie that keeps you hopefully on the edge of your seat.
Solo puede acabar de una forma. Con el último que quede en pie.
I'm going to see my
¡Tenemos que seguir! ¡Vamos!
¡Es imposible pasar por ahí! ¡Se ha vuelto loco!
Yes, this is designed to be seen in a cinema. And, you know, I've made movies of all sizes. I've made big franchise movies. I've made tiny independent films. Each film is different for me. And some movies, I would be fine about them being seen on a television screen. And some movies like this, they're made for the experience of sitting with strangers in the dark, being surrounded by the film, being pulled into the film in sound and music as well as image. So I think that the important thing is that filmmakers, you know, you can't assume that because you've made a story that lasts 2 hours, it therefore has a right to be in a cinema anymore. You know, I think in the old days there was much more choice in the cinema. Now you have much more choice on television. But if you want to be in a cinema, you have to fight for the right to be in a cinema. You have to use all the tools at your disposal, and you have to make it necessary for the audience to see it in a cinema, a different experience. And so that's what we're going for here, trying to make it, use all the bells and whistles, you know, IMAX, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, 7.1, surround sound, all this thing. You know, that's what it gives you. So use them and be ambitious in your storytelling so an audience feels that if it's not seeing it in a cinema, they're missing out.
Si no llegan a tiempo, perderemos 1.600 hombres, incluido su hermano. Buena suerte.
Yeah, you see, again, I don't think I made a grand statement like that when I made. For me, these movies are about family and relationships, and what America gives you is a mythic landscape. It gives you scale, which movies need in a way. They need this sense of the epic about them, even when you're domestic. For me, they were very personal films about the way that in American Beauty, and the way the families work. The children are the parents, and the parents are the children. And with Revolutionary Road, about how relationships work, and how difficult they are to, how different men and women are fundamentally. Whereas America was the setting for them, but they weren't specifically about America. And I think sometimes you do, as an outsider, when I'm an Englishman and I went to America, I felt like I could see, perhaps with greater clarity, how different America was than the rest of the world, than perhaps an American could. But also, then at a certain point, you start feeling like an outsider, and you start feeling like you don't know. You need to go back home. So that's why I went back to England.